Hi, this video is gonna show how I go about installing coreBOS, basically versioned with GIT so that I can easily update and keep that install in sync with all the development and fast-paced changes that we're making every day on GitHub. Um, as you can see on the screen, this is the list of things that I need and I use. Okay, basically we need a Linux, Apache, and PHP server. That can be on Windows or on Linux. I use Linux exclusively. That's where I'm going to be doing this demo. It doesn't really matter as long as you have an Apache working with some PHP recent version. You should be okay. JIT command line. I use the command line for JIT access and to get the code and to update it and everything. There are various very good GUI tools to do exactly what I'm going to do on the command line. It doesn't really matter either, as long as you can download, access the JIT repository, and pull the changes as they happen. You should be okay. The only real reason for the JIT command line is because most shared hosting and dedicated servers that you have online and some hosting company are going to give you SSH access to the code and the command line, so you can easily do all these JIT commands there without having to FTP them up or do all those changes, which complicate things. The command line is really easy, and you just need a handful of commands to play with this. These two, the JIT command and the SSH access, are going to get me access to all the code, and then I'm going to need database access to create the database and do the coreBOS install in the end. Okay, the demo I'm going to do is going to download all the code. I'm going to install coreBOS, and then I'm going to upload a couple of changes and see how I can update the coreBOS that I just installed. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to move over here to the terminal. Here we are in the command line. This is my root here, var www. I'm on my local host machine. As you can see here, I have a whole bunch of coreBOS installs and stuff. Any file, this is the root of my Apache directory, so this is where anything starts. If I jump over here to my machine, to my browser, and I do a local host, this is accessing my local server right now, and it brings up PHP 5.59 version, which is this index file here. Okay, so I'm going to add a new repository here, and I'm going to get that directly, a new coreBOS install here, and I'm going to get that directly from JIT. So JIT is, let's clear this up so you can get it up on top. Okay, JIT, I'm going to clone https github.com coreBOS. Okay, so here I'm telling JIT to connect to this repository, which is our coreBOS open source repository, and to clone it, to copy it down. And if I don't add anything else, it will automatically create a coreBOS directory for me and pull in all the code, or push in all the code to that directory. I'm going to add my own directory here, cbgit test. Okay, so it will create this cbgit test directory and throw in all the code. Okay, so here I'm getting all the code from JIT repository. It shouldn't take too long. And there we go. Okay, perfect. So now I have a new directory here. I should have one, which is called cbgit test. Perfect. I can jump into this directory, and I have here coreBOS code recent just downloaded with the latest version. Here in this directory I can launch a git log, for example, and it will show me all the commits that have been made. Anything else that we can do with git status, it will see that there's no changes, everything is good. I think we can do something like this. It will show me the last run command. Okay, so so this is not just a coreBOS code. Okay, it's not something I could have done this downloading the zip file. The real important thing here is that this directory is controlled by JIT. Any change I make to any file, JIT will automatically know I changed that file. This whole repository is connected to, or this whole directory is connected to the GitHub repository. If anything changes there, we can easily pull it down and make those update changes. Okay. For example, if I edit, I don't know, index PHP, and we just add some lines here, breaking everything. If I do the git status again, we'll see that it says, hey, you modified that file. Okay, so I know that locally this file has changed. If I ask them exactly what changes have been made there, it will also tell me that these bunch of new lines have been entered there. Okay, I want to undo this change. I can just check out the version, and now I'm back to where I was. If I edit this file again, see that there's no new lines. It eliminated them for me. And if we do the git status again, it's clean. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say here is that this is not just a download of the coreBOS code. It's alive. It's controlled by JIT. JIT knows what's happening in this directory, and it also knows what's happening up in the parent repository where it came from. Okay, if I ask it, it knows. See, the JIT remote tells me that this directory is controlled, is connected to the real repository online. So if once it changes, I can quickly update and know exactly what's going on. We'll see a little bit more about that when I update. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go into my new directory, localhost cbgittest, which is the directory I created. It's clean, so automatically it's gonna want to install, and so we're just gonna follow the steps quickly here. Okay, okay, the permissions are wrong. If we let's look, it could be interesting. Okay, so let's see here, cbgittest. It says that I cloned this directory as the Joe user. So the World Wide Web, the Apache user, cannot access this directory. He can't write in it. If I ask, see, it's all assigned to me because I'm the one who pulled it out. That's not right. So we have to give permission to World Wide Web data, which is my Apache user. Okay, each Apache install will have different or not user. Okay, I'm going to change the whole group, the second column here, in the whole directory, and that should give me, as you can see now, the second column is telling that the Apache user can use these files and directories. This is the second set of 3 letters. Okay, in the directories, it's saying that this group, the Apache group, can read, write, and do whatever they want in the directories, and also on the files. Okay, so now if we come over here again and ask it to check again, we should get a cleaner stack here. Okay, these aren't really important. They're kind of they're wrong because I'm on development. This is my my development machine. So I need to have a little bit more notices than a production system would. And these are on, they should be off, but that's okay. Okay, let's continue. That warning was because these aren't all closed up. Okay, wants to access the database. Let's do cbgit test database. Create it for me. This is important. The UTF-8 support is very important. Nowadays, UTF-8 is everywhere, if not more, so you should do that. I'm not going to populate because not really important. And here we'll just put any email. Okay, everything's filled in. It will create the database for me. This message is saying that localhost here is will probably give me some problems with some extensions. Word plugin and some other ones use that. Not really. Okay, so that created a database for me. Everything's validated, and off we go. Okay, so as you can see, basically it's a total normal install, exactly as you would find if you did a zip download of all the code and you copied it into a directory hanging from your Apache server. It's exactly the same. There's no difference at all that I got the code from the JIT repository directly, or that the code is versioned. In the end, this directory here that I'm following, that my JIT is in, the only real difference is that if I list these files with -a, so it shows me the hidden directories, you'll see that I have a .jit directory. This .jit directory will not come down if you do if you get a zip, you know, the package, the whole package of the code. And that JIT directory is the only difference. It's where everything is being controlled. Okay, everything else, all the other files in the system are exactly the same. That's why the install is exactly the same, and nothing really changes from having it on JIT or not. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video a little bit while the install finishes, and get back with you in a moment. Okay, the install finished normally, no problems, at least non-visual. Here it says that that my install directory and install PHP have been renamed. And before going into the application, let's come back over here to the command line. Let's do this ls again. Notice here that yeah, the install directories have been renamed. That is for security reasons, and that's totally correct. And let's ask JIT what happened. Okay, I'm going to do a JIT status. Let's clear that up and do it from the top and see what JIT has to say about the install. Okay, it says that the install directories have been deleted. They've really been renamed. Okay, down here it says that it finds one new directory and a new file, that it has no idea what they are. It sees that these have disappeared, and then we see that the config inc has been modified with all the new information for the database access and configuration, the menu, the new modules, and this test file has also been deleted. So as you can see, this is what happens when you install. Really, JIT has totally controlled what files have been changed during the install. The rest of the installation is exactly the same. No other files have been changed except these. So even that is a plus already. Just knowing that JIT knows exactly what's happening to our files. If we upload this to a server online and get hacked for whatever reason, and the files get infected, JIT will know exactly which files have changed, what has changed in each one of them, and will be able to recover consistency in a confident and trusted manner, not just guessing and hoping that we got all the files that were infected, for example. I mean, that's just one of the many benefits. Okay, let's go back to the browser. Let's finish this up. the only thing left to do to get coreBOS correctly working is launch the coreBOS updater. Okay, basically what we have now after a clean install is almost vTiger 5.4, which is where coreBOS was born. It started life from that version. So what we do is kind of like froze that database configuration at that point in time, and we started developing from there forward. Okay, so all the changes that we do, instead of modifying and getting into the complex install system and complicated things that migration scripts and all the stuff that vTiger used to do, we have coreBOS Updater, which takes care of all these things for us. In combination with JIT, is just spectacular and really easy to do to keep your coreBOS up to date and constantly evolving with our work. Okay, up here on the right we have the coreBOS Updater Quick Access. There's no updates there in the file system, so we ask the updater to go to the file system and look for them, pick them all up, and we should see them here in a moment. Here we are. It gets all the changes that have been going on in the last year or so. They're all in here. They haven't been applied yet. There's no execution date. They're all pending here. I'm just gonna apply all, which is what I usually do anyway. And this will bring that database clean install up to date to exactly the time I checked out or cloned the code. With this, we have our coreBOS prepared to work. Just start configuring, importing data, etc. Yeah, well, the only other thing would be the cron. You have to set up the vTiger cron, but I could do another video with that because there's so many options. Depends on each different shared hosting or dedicated server you have, and it's all kind of very dependent on the configuration. Okay, let's continue with something else while this is finishing, because it's just going to show us the screen. I'm going to jump over here to the next tab, and here we can see the GitHub repository for coreBOS. Okay, here we see that there's been 981 commits, and the last one was about 17 hours ago here. If we click on the commits list, we can get the same list that we saw before in the JIT log. Okay, basically here on April 14th, today, 17 hours ago, I committed this patch. Here we have a whole bunch of other ones that I've done. Okay, so if we go into this new clone coreBOS and I launch a JIT log, we'll see that we get exactly those same ones. Okay, the inventory CSS stacks thing, which I did 17 hours ago, then the calendar, it's the same things. Okay, this install which we just cloned is totally up to date with those changes. Now I have here in another directory a few changes. This is another install. This is where I've been developing, and I have a couple of changes that I have to commit, that I have to upload. Okay, so I'm going to upload those. So this would be kind of simulating what's going to happen in a real life install. You're going to JIT clone it today, and we're developing constantly, so we upload changes tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and a couple weeks go by and you want to bring your install up to date. Okay, so I'm going to kind of simulate that, but just with a few commits. Okay, here I have one commit, one change, which I want to upload. You can see this change if you want. I mean, they're going to be all online anyway. It's just a function. It's a utility function that I need to solve another problem. So I'm going to commit that individually, so that we can. So it kind of auto documents itself. Is entity module utility function. Okay, that uploads one change. Now let's get the next one. Wow, I have very slow disks. My hard disk is very old, and the video was probably taking it some time to process. Okay, here we have, nope, that didn't work. Okay, this is another change. This is the change that I'm using this new function. See if I can clear that up and make it more visual. Okay, here, these are all the set of changes that I've made. I have a change in this custom view file, which is using the utility function I just did. It's referencing some cases. It fixes a bug. So I'm going to add this in. And let's comment that. Filters with related modules. Okay, this is another fix that we just did and detected today on the discussion forum. And one last change, which is another one, which is the one I really wanted to upload when I did the video, which is this calendar module extension. Okay, and that's this. Okay, this is a kind of, this isn't really part of the video, it's just so you can see what's going on. Okay, hold on, did something wrong here, which is this one here. Okay, as you can see now, okay, I basically have this back to normal installed, just installed coreBOS. Okay, the config inc, the comp performance, the tab data. Okay, here I have some other modified files, basically new modules that I've installed, and here I have a pending set of changes. Okay, basically this is the change that I really wanted to come in and I wanted to show in the video. Okay, this change that I'm uploading here permits to see related modules on the calendar. Really nice. The thing is that to get this working, I've had to upload a change set. Okay, a change set is what coreBOS updater reads. Okay, that means that the changes that I made in these two files need some database changes. They expect to see them there, and they will break if they don't have them. Okay, they will not work. So in a normal, before we had coreBOS updater, to do something like this was a problem, because I had to wait. We had to sync that with a release, you know, test the installs and change the database and change everything to get those database modifications in sync with everything. Do a migration script, you know, to keep everybody migrating, updated. A lot of work. It was complicated. coreBOS Updater makes this really simple. I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. Basically, I just set up a change set which makes the changes that I need just to get this working. So anybody who updates their code, all they have to do is jump into the coreBOS Updater and apply the change. And they get that change. It's like a mini migration, and you keep your coreBOS alive and moving, you know, with the same step and dynamism that life has, constantly just moving, and everything is changing. So your software has to be changing also at the same pace. You don't have to, you know, do complicated stuff every time you need it. You just have to do things really quickly, and that's what GIT Controlled Installs and coreBOS Updater is all about. Okay, so let's commit this change. This is a new feature on the calendar, and it's about modules on calendar. Okay. Okay, now if these changes here, those three changes that I just did are here, they're on my machine. I haven't uploaded them to the repository yet. If we come over here to the browser and to JIT and we reload this, we should see no change at all. Okay, exactly, nothing has changed. I haven't uploaded it yet. Okay, so I'm going to push these changes that I just committed so that they are uploaded and available to everybody, not just for me. Okay, that's uploading, and it says everything is okay. Perfect. Let's reload this. And now we see that on April 14th, just about a minute ago, I uploaded 3 changes. That's how quickly the code changes every day. I mean, this is April 14th, this is today. Today we've already made it 4 changes, and I know that 2 more will probably be applied before the end of the day because the 2 other people working on a couple bug fixes. This changes that quickly. I mean, it's incredible how fast coreBOS is moving. So not having your JIT, your install controlled by JIT is kind of you're complicating it really. Because JIT really makes it easy to keep up with our pace, which is really fast. Okay. Okay. So let me see. Now I have a new I have an install here, which is my CB JIT test install, which we created for this video. If I do a JIT log here, it says that I don't have the changes that are up already on the repository. So what do I have to do to get them? Well, simply jump into my directory and launch a JIT pull. That will connect to the repository, see the new changes that I just uploaded, and download them for me. That easy. I don't really have to even look at what they are. Just, I mean, unless I have something specific on my install where something has changed or I get some conflict, it's usually just as easy as jumping in and doing a JIT pull. It will download everything to the latest version. And then, obviously, we have to come into the application, go to the coreBOS updater, which we left working and now has all the coreBOS changes applied. They're all executed and all today. Everything looks good. Okay, so we go in and we say, okay, I just pulled a new version of coreBOS into my install. Some of those versions won't have database changes. Okay, for example, of the commits that we did, the first 2 did not have any coreBOS updater associated. So they're just code changes. They're bug fixes or features that you get simply by updating the JIT pull. But the third one has a coreBOS updater associated. It needs database changes. So if we now load the updates that we just pulled from the repository, it detects that new change set that needs to be done. If we see it here, it's not executed. See, there's no execution date, and it's pending. So we can either just apply it, apply all, or anything. I'm going to just apply that one. It will be doing some database changes. Look, it did all these inserts for us, and it failed on these. Oh, okay, that's nice. Okay, I'll look into that and get that fixed. That was a direct change. I did a change at the last minute, and I should have tested it before uploading. Okay, I'll fix that now. In any case, so the idea is that now I have my coreBOS updater, I have my coreBOS install totally up to date and in sync with the repository. And it's really that easy to keep it in sync. Every time that I want to update and see if anything has changed, you just have to go into the repository, do the JIT pull, go into the coreBOS updater and update it, and that will keep your coreBOS system alive and working and up to date with all the changes and everything. I hope that helps. And that's how we work here. Basically, that's how we keep our codes version and everything up to date, and replicating all those different changes to all our clients and to all the installs that people ask us to do. Thanks for listening.